So, eh, I had a dream about you. You were wearing a beautiful white dress and looking like an angel flying. Hey guys, happy Sunday and welcome to my channel. I am Bella of Moments with Bella. So, happy Sunday, in case I didn't say that. Today it's Sunday, okay? Sunday the what? Sunday the 4th of August. Yeah, this is live, but not live, okay? So, if you don't already know, I said that I will start doing story time on Sundays. Welcome to story time with Bella. So, today I have a juicy one for you guys, kind of. Okay, let me just I want to open the door over there, but I am very shy for my neighbors to hear me talking and telling this story because initially I wanted to sit outside on the porch, but I don't want my neighbor to hear me talking to myself, so I decided to sit inside and it's hot. By the way, let me explain my hair situation, okay? I don't know if it's necessary, but on the weekend we went to an event to my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-law's house. They had their son's official entering or official starting of a school. They have an event here when the kid is leaving kindergarten and starting a real school, like a first grade, and so they had this celebration for their son, and so as family we had to go. So we went, and my hair was really cute, guys. I created a hairband with my own hair. I did this in the car on our way there on Friday, and the event was yesterday. And this situation was really nice and cute. But now look, I have like a chicken feather situation going on here. And I look like a wannabe Rastafarian. But we're gonna ignore it, just concentrate on the man-made headband that I have here, okay? So anywho, today's story is how I almost married a Satanist, a ritualist. Yes. How I almost marry a Satanist, a ritualist. So I won't take much of your time. It was my final year of high school. In my final year of high school, yeah, I became a Christian. I was always a Christian. I was born a Christian. I was born into a Catholic home. But anyway, it's not important. My parents are Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I did all the Catholic rituals, if you would call them that. I got baptized as a kid. Confirmation. The Catholics do confirmation where you have to attend. No, Catholic. Wow, Catholics have three kind of event as a Christian. Baptism, there's something that to call a tumbo in my language. A tumbo is when you become eligible for receiving a Holy Communion. So you have to attend classes for this, a tumbo, and then there's a confirmation, a koreko. But when I made an informed decision to follow Jesus and to abide to the instructions of God and the Bible, it was when I was in high school, and toward the end of my first year in high school, which was an event. I will tell you that story next Sunday. It was quite a thing. Yeah, I became a Christian in high school. But anyway, and then, so like toward the end of my first year of high school, which is 11th grade for us in Namibia, high school is 11th grade. like in November, I became a Christian. And then the whole year of my grade 12, I was a Christian girl in high school. And I was attending this church. I won't mention name because I later left the church. Yes, I'm a rebel. I left the church. But to be fair, I left only one church in my life. One. And then after I left the church, I decided I'm not going to be a member of any church. I'm just going to be going to church. So why do I need to be a member of a church? And in that church anyway, I never had a membership card or anything, but I call myself like that was our church. So if I say when I become a Christian, I mean when I later as an adult decided I'm setting my life apart for God, not just to go to church, but to try and live in the best way I can, in a way that I think was pleasing to Him, or I believe was pleasing to Him. Okay? So I became a Christian in high school. Now, I hope you understand that. Then I was going to this church. Now, a young Christian. And then there are always these people. I noticed that almost all the refugees that, I don't want to sound prejudiced, but all the refugees that come from like East Africa, West Africa, when they come to Namibia, they are Christians. They're always Christian. But maybe these countries had knowledge of Christianity or like this Pentecostal revival first more than Namibia did. So all the people come there. Now here comes this brother. He's a Christian. I do not know where the wind blew him from. How he ended up there in our church. I was in Otapi, by the way. I don't know if anybody from Otapi. I went to school at David Shehama. I don't know if it's still called David Shehama Secondary School in Otapi, in Umsati region, in the northern part of Namibia. So I do not know how this brother from Congo, DRC Congo, ended up in Otapi, because this church was even new. So let me sip my coffee and describe the brother. I'm gonna put my coffee here on my chair. I hope it doesn't get cold because I'll talk a lot. So I do not know how this brother ended up in Otapi, but it doesn't matter. This brother, I actually don't even know his story. But when we started, people really care about others. Christians really gave effort in taking care of other people. If you say you are a Christian, you are in, they show you love, they show you care and all that. So when this brother came, the church was like, so we'll do it. They will visit people in the hospital, they visit people at home, they provide food and care and all that stuff. So I will tell my experience of becoming a Christian as a high school student and my experiences with the early Christian. They are not really early, but in Namibia during that time, it was kind of a little bit early, especially in the north. People didn't know much about what they call Oshivev, these Pentecostal churches. So they just took him in, not so much question asked. So his name was John. Now I'm kind of questioning if that was even his real name, if his name was real John. And he called himself João. Brother João. I know that it's like Portuguese, how they say John in Portuguese. Now I'm wondering, if he was from DRC, why is he called João? I know they speak French in DRC Congo, but does John mean João in Spanish, not Spanish, in French? Perhaps. Was John his real name? Because I don't think church people even asked him about papers. They just took him in. John was a tall guy. Now, if you know people from DRC, if you know the men from DRC, they're distinct. They have distinct look, and I think people from different country have distinct look. People from Kenya look different from people from Namibia, and people from Uganda look different. So the DRC people have a certain look, and maybe because I have encountered them for a while, I actually really almost could tell from their feature that this person is from DRC. I cannot always be 100% correct, but maybe some percentage correct. So he's tall, very slim. He was tall, and very slim. Not quite appealing to my eye, at least. He has a very big head and a round face. Yeah. And he liked to smile a lot. And one thing about me, I was a young Christian, but I don't know, it has something to do with our education at home, because we were always taught, don't you think, like, don't you think? We were encouraged always to think for ourselves. So John was overly friendly. He was very friendly. But I just didn't, maybe he was just not, I just didn't click or didn't vibe with him or something. But I always question things, not the person who just take things as they are. If you say it's black, I just say, oh, it's black. But I'm usually like, is it really black, or why is it black? Like this. The other people are like, oh, Brother John. And in no time, Brother John became a choir master in our church. Brother John is a choir master. Not that I wanted the choir master position, no, I cannot sing, but I like to sing. So I was in the choir, a youth choir. Anywho, I was not really into Brother John's friendliness, or my spirit just didn't really connect well with him. So it's just one of those people like, because you are Christian, and then you feel guilty if you have some kind of thinking about you and stuff like that. I don't even know where he was staying and who he was living with at first, because the church was even new in this area. The church was very new, so we just had a zinc structure that was just put up, and they just were given the plot, because first when they started, they used to use one of our classrooms at my school. So then they moved out, they gathered some money, so they went to this place, and they put up just zinc. And so John became a church caretaker. Little did I know the brother was eyeing me. Me, a teen. I was in my teen. Bro was maybe in his late 20s or early 30s. I don't know. But he was eyeing me. 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 Of all the youth that used to go to church. Me. Why? I don't know. Maybe because I'm tall. So one day, my mom came to visit me at school. Actually, there was a school meeting. And so my mom came, and I decided I'm going to introduce my mom to the pastor, because my mom knew I had joined this churches, Iveva and stuff like that. But she really didn't mind, because she knew my behavior and things, so she didn't have a problem with me. Not like my dad. That's another story. I had a tough time when I became a Christian. People had issues. Yeah, they told me I would be mad, like running mad, cuckoo, crazy. I'm still waiting. Maybe I will still run mad. And so on. So I took my mom to the church on her way back to take a taxi back home. So we stopped at the church, and the pastor was there. The pastor was unmarried, but was courting one of the sisters. She was a teacher, a very lovely lady, who used to give me a key to her flat, so that when she gone to school, because she taught primary school, when she's at school, I can use her flat to study in peace and quiet, because during the study time, when we were preparing for our last exam, you can study outside of the school premises. So this lady was very, very, very nice. I am eternally grateful to her. So I stopped by the church with my mom. I introduced my mom to the pastor. Brother John was there. Brother John was so smiling to my mom. Ah, hello, meme. I don't know when he learned a few words in Oshwambo. Nawa, meme, Bella, meme, what? No, back then I was not called Bella, Isabella. Meme, Isabella, meme, Isabella, because Congo, Burundi, what they call the people, the parents with the children's names. So Mama Isabella is normal, although I'm not the firstborn. Usually they do refer them to the firstborn, Mama of the firstborn. And then my mom is one of those people who can really make fun of people, but she can also read people. My mom kind of picked up something that I didn't pick up at that time. So I think she picked up that he likes me. He was all goo goo gaga with my mom smiling, though they can't communicate. My mom doesn't really speak English, apart from the basic good morning, good what, and my name is hoo. She could speak English, but she didn't use it for a while, so she forgot it altogether. So they didn't really communicate well, except I was a translator. He was trying to be chatty. So then I walked my mom to the road and so. But if you meet my mom is very nice. She's nice, so you can just know she's a nice person. So I think, and thought, her mother is even nice and I like her. Okay, so that was it. I think 2 weeks later, this guy, I don't know how many weeks later actually, all I knew, he was living with this widow lady. Her husband died and she was home alone. She was kind of like sickly, but she was raising 2 young sons, maybe 7 and 9, so her boys were. So now this grown man went to live with his widow. It did not sit well with me. Mind you, I was a very young Christian, so I was not even supposed to question things. It just didn't sit well with me because the lady was selling things, vegetables, to support herself and her kids. Now she had to add this grown person because she wasn't working. If she was working, maybe you say, okay, it's fine, it's just a fellow Christian taking care of another fellow Christian. So, and then apparently while he was there, he dreamt about me. He had a dream about me. And he heard God telling him that I was his wife. Well, me, mind you, I was in my teens, so I was not even 20, it was my teens. Me, God just revealed to him. So he woke up and told this lady and said, Mama, her name was Mama Helvi. Hey Helvi, I had a dream about Sister Isabella. She was wearing a beautiful white dress and she was, I was apparently flying like an angel. I looked like an angel. I was flying like an angel. I'm Angel Bella. I did not know I'd become an angel to somebody. And so the lady got excited. I'm like, Meme, you got excited for what? God did not come to me yet. Before the lady could tell me, people know that I had this lady teacher's key to her apartment. So they would, while I'm just concentrating. But these brothers like to drop by people's houses. It's not wrong. Maybe somebody's coming from a long way and just want a cup of water, but they were annoying me. I avoided the noise of the school to come and study here, but every now and then, knock, knock, knock. Oh, I'm like, who's there? On this particular day, I I made myself tea because I had that freedom. Sometimes the lady asked me to go on for the weekend at her apartment. We sleep on the same bed. We eat her food like she's my sister. But she know me from nowhere. Just the fact that I was a young Christian in the church. Those people that God just placed them on your path for in the right time. Ne? So she was really one of those I thank God for. So I had knock, knock, knock. Hey. I open. Hello, Sister they don't say Isa. Sister Isabella. Isa with a Z. Hello, Sister Isabella. How are you? Good morning. I'm already annoyed. Hi, my dear. I used to feel guilty that maybe I'm not a good Christian. Why do I get annoyed so much by people? I'm already annoyed. But for some reason, it's like in my spirit. It's like my spirit warn me or give me a flash or a ring or whatever. It's like I already kind of knew what he wanted. Then, how are you doing? What are you doing? You know I study here. That's why you know I'm here, because he came during the time that he know the teacher is at school. So what do you mean, what am I doing here? So I'm just studying. I say, oh, God bless you. You will pass very well. I say, thank you, amen. Thank you, amen, yes. I said, sister, there is something. Sister, leave your sister alone. Sister, there is something that I want to discuss with you, but let us pray first. Let us pray. Okay. Then he started praying in Lingala. I'm like, you wicked brother. Why are you praying in your language? Because you know you don't want me to hear you pray. But his English was also not very good, so I'll forgive him. I'll excuse him for that one. He started praying in his language. Guys, when he was praying, I was getting more and more angry because I know, almost 90% sure that I knew what he was praying about. Then he told me, he said, my sister. The whole time he's calling me my sister. Oh, sister, my sister. How do you want to marry your sister? Okay. This brother, I don't know where he come from. Never sat alone with him except I see him in church. I greet him. I never really had a discussion with him. I had a dream about you. You were wearing a beautiful white dress and looking like an angel flying. My dream, I'm like, me flying? God forbid. God forbid. Me flying. Okay, angel, Bella flying. Okay, fine. And God said, you'll be my wife. The anger I had inside of me. I don't know now the anger because I don't like him. It was the anger because I'm young. I don't want to get married. I'm not thinking of getting married. And back then, I really didn't even wish to get married. Marriage was never in my mind. For a very long time, I did not want to get married, okay? So I was getting very, very angry and trying to hide it on my face. So he said, yeah, I just want you to pray about it and then to continue praying about it, for us to continue praying about it and see what God says. I'm like, first of all, straight up, I told him, but for me, God did not reveal anything to me, or God did not tell me anything. And then that's when he came in with, we should pray about it to see what God will say. So then he went, and the church was just right there. Usually, I think that day before I go back, because I had a key, I didn't have to wait for the lady to come back. That's how she was really just nice. I had a key that I can take and come and go whenever. That day, there was a program at the church. I didn't go, went straight back to my room at the school. And I was now planning. The whole time I was angry. Hey, I just now remember. This is the second time I got proposed marriage that I refused. I refused 2 marriages. Oh Lord. And both times, whenever they told me, I was extremely angry. Instead of being happy. Do you know how Christian girls like to get married? Not me. Both times, the second time the guy was, I was a Christian guy too. I mean, they were both Christian, but I was just very angry whenever they told me. So anyway, I went. I was now planning, if this guy go to the pastor and tell him that God showed him he want to marry me. Now that I'm at the end of writing my exam, I write my exam. They don't know where I live in the village. We don't have a telephone number. We don't have a phone. I have no communication. So I'll write my exam, I go home, they will never see me again. So I was afraid he will tell the pastor, and the pastor will try to convince me, or the pastor will say, oh, I pray about it, and the Lord said, confirm it, and said, yes, brother Joao, aka John, is your husband. So I had made my plans already that I would just disappear. They don't know where I live in the village. They only know me from school. So luckily, that's how not a really an honest person he was. He didn't go to the pastor. He only told this lady. So he didn't go to the pastor. If it was somebody genuine, he would have gone to the pastor and tell them. That's how they used to do them in those times, okay? So why did I say he was a Satanist? That was my last year of high school. There were a lot of other young people in the church, I told you, ne? That's why I was like, why me? Now there was another lady. This lady used to work in the tuck shop near our school. In fact, we would buy over the fence at the tuck shop, and she was there. And we were so bumuka. We were so admiring her because she's like a young lady with a job. She will come to church with high heels. And I think she maybe just finished school a year before us, and she was working at this tuck shop. But he didn't approach her. He approached little me. I did not have the best clothes. I had whatever I can throw on. I didn't have best shoes, nothing appealing about me. Maybe he thought, let me approach this naive girl or something like that. So after I left, I didn't really go back to Utapi anymore, not for long. The teacher lady moved, so I had contact with other people. I learned that later the church really discovered that he was not a very spiritual, nice person. How they found out that he was a Satanist, I had no idea. He approached this girl that used to work at the tuck shop. I won't mention her name. And then by the time he approached her, the pastors and everybody could see who he really was. I don't know how they found out that he was a Satanist. And he was talking some crazy, doesn't agree with the preaching or the teaching, and And he decided to leave the church. Mind you, I don't think he even had paper, but not really far from the church. He started his own church. But you know how us African Namibians like foreigners. People started going there because he could so he started having his own member. And they warned this girl that this is what we saw spiritually, which I don't know, that this guy is not a Christian. The girl did not listen. She married him. They went to court. But the fact that they went to court, I think maybe he had some papers. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't even get married legally. I don't know. All I heard was he married her, and like in the first, second, third month, she was pregnant. And he already now had his church, and he started beating her. Every single day he would beat her, but she still have to go to church, or she's Mama Pastor. Mama Pastor still have to go to church. What had become of them, I don't know, but thank God. Thank God I said no. I would have been receiving woto and go to church and be smiling and say, God bless you. Hey, I am Mama Pastor. Hey, God forbid. I don't really pretend very well. But so I feel sad for this lady because she was really nice. This lady, she was like our big sister, the one who was working at the tuck shop. Was our big sister. She would bring us bread or something that, back when we were Christian, people were nice, so they would just know there's these Christian kids in school, so I'm just taking bread to them and oros and butter and jam or something like that. Yeah, she was that nice and ended up with that kind of person. But anywho, I jump a bullet with this one. So that's my story. When God doesn't tell me something, nobody has the right to say, God told me what. I do have the right to hear from God myself as well. So that was my argument. I'm like, heck no. Plus the fact that I really don't like him. He was not good looking. And I never really wanted just to marry somebody who cannot take care of me. So I said no. That is my story. I would have married a Satanist right now. Anyway, I hope you like this story, and there is more to come. Thank you for watching.